Anyway, that was going to be my first question. With all that's happened on and off the field in the last 4 or 5 months, does that give this India-Pakistan encounter, which is anyway a charged one, that extra edge?
Definitely, yes. As far as the everybody else is concerned, as far as the players are concerned, I don't think they're going to be concerned with what has happened. They're not going to be worried about what happened before or after. They're just going to be focused on playing their game and doing what they've been picked in the team for, whether it as a batter or as a bowler. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference to the players. Players generally are aware of what the crowd have, what the sense of the crowd is. That they are aware of it. But good teams, good players hardly ever allow that crowd thing to disturb
So,
them.
anything to worry about this Indian team? We've seen them play 2 matches. They've won rather comfortably, but not firing on all cylinders. Is that a worrying sign for you ahead of that crucial game versus Pakistan?
Firstly, in team sport, there's no such thing as a perfect game. So even you can go on to win every single game, but there is no such thing as a perfect game. A perfect game means everybody who's gone in cricket means everybody who's gone into bat has scored big. Every bowler who's been given the ball has taken 2, 3 wickets. But that doesn't happen. But what has happened is that India has come to know the areas that they should strengthen, and I think at the top of the order is the one thing that will concern them, that will worry them to a little extent, because if Abhishek Sharma is not 100% fit and Sanju Samson comes in, Samson's form, look, there's never any doubt about the ability that he has. We've seen it time and again that when Samson is going well, he destroys any attack. But temperamentally, is his main problem seems to be temperament, which is where the shot selection comes in. So I think this is an area where India will be just a little bit touch worried about, that they need to get a good start in those 6 overs, and Samson is going to be a key player.
Saibai, it's interesting that you talk about Sanju Samson as well. Do you expect him to play this game, or do you think if Abhishek is fit, I believe he's already here in Colombo, if he's travelled with the team, if he's fit, then he automatically slots in?
Oh, yes. I think in case Abhishek is fit to bat and run between the wickets and be the fielder that he is, then Abhishek comes in. Because he's in form. Yes, he got out first ball the other day, but normally he gets out first ball in one game, next game he scores 80, 90. So definitely he's the one that, any team will be worried about more than Samson.
This particular encounter happened at the exact same ground where India and Pakistan will be playing. Looking at the tactics, the strategy, the way the pitch behaved, what are the lessons that India can take from this particular Zimbabwe-Australia match that they can use in the Pakistan encounter?
The learning is that, the slower the ball comes onto the bat, the harder it is for the batters to play the big shots. And the fuller that you bowl, the better chances you have of, restricting the batter. Because the fuller you bowl, it's difficult for the batter to get under the ball and hit it over the top. As long as you keep bowling under the bat, you are going to be, or as close to the bat as possible, you will probably not be hammered for sixes. So that is something that they will have seen. They will have also seen that because there is some turn in the surface, maybe pick an additional spinner like Washington Sundar. I know he hasn't played a lot of cricket in the last month or so, but he's somebody who doesn't need that kind of cricket. His bowling is so rhythmic. I don't think he needs that. And as a batter at number 8 or 9, he gives added depth to your batting.
Yeah, it's interesting that we are very closely analysing India's performance and looking at a few loopholes there. But just looking at the tournament per se, keeping in mind the Australia loss, is there any team that's had a perfect tournament so far? And with that in mind, are India still looking like the favourites?
Well, they are the tournament favourites, yes, for sure. So I think it's just a matter of, just getting that power play in their pocket. The batting power play as well as the bowling power play. You get it in your pocket, you're pretty much, got the match covered. So that is going to be the key. And India have shown that they can dominate the power play, batting power play, as well as the bowling power play. Their tactics have been pretty good. Their captaincy has been absolutely top class. The field placing has been great. The The catching speed superb as well.
Saima, one other factor, we've been reporting here on our live broadcast that the Indian team has landed in Colombo. Actually, they're on their way to get to their hotel. You see this nice, shiny, well-lit building behind me. That is actually where the Indian team are staying. We're here actually to welcome them and to film them, share those particular visuals with our viewers as well. But the question is that, see, India played a game last night. They traveled today, going to get here very late. One day of practice on Saturday, and then it's game day for them. Pakistan, on the other hand, have been relaxing here. Colombo has been home for them in the tournament. And we saw them at practice today. Pakistan looked very relaxed, confident. Do you think that becomes a factor, India having to travel and Pakistan are based out of Colombo?
No, it doesn't. It's just a short journey. There is no this excuse must not even be thought of by anybody. That this is the situation. Everybody knew that this was going to be the fixture. This was going to be the flying in, the timing, etc. I do not think that this should be looked at all. I don't think the players are going to be too bothered about it. It's not that it's a 10-hour journey or thereabouts. It's just a two and a half hour journey, and there's no time difference. At the same time as in India, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. So no, I don't think that's an excuse.
I think you make a absolute fair point. At the end of the day, there are certain times where India have found a venue that has been their home and other teams have traveled. At the end of the day, these players play the IPL. It can get really tiring. They're so used to traveling and then performing at the best. So that shouldn't be a factor at all. But talking about factors, the one player that's been spoken about the most, Usman Tariq from Pakistan, has an unusual action. Firstly, what do you make of his action?
Well, I haven't really seen it, apart from little glimpses on television, which is not always the best thing to see. But look, there is no law against the bowler stopping and delivering the ball. Just like there is no law to say to the batter, you can't move before the bowler delivers the ball. So I don't think, these are comments made by people who do not actually know the rules of the game. So I don't think there's anything to be concerned. And I do believe that at the recent practice session that you were around, the Pakistani batters had no problems playing him. So I don't see the Indian batters having too many problems playing him either.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it's, the Indian team that really needs to look at playing him based on the deliveries and not think too much about what has been made about his action. And as you rightly point out, that there's nothing drastically wrong there with the action. But the only thing that comes to my mind at the moment, it's interesting. I'm talking to you live from Sri Lanka, and this is the country that produces unusual bowlers or bowlers with unusual action. The Malingas of the world. You have even right now Patirana. You had Mendes. And in the past, we've seen bowlers with unusual actions or unorthodox actions have troubled the Indian team. With that in mind, should we be worried as Indian fans?
No, I don't think so. I think, look, in a T20 game, they are going to look after going after a particular bowler. And I think here it was more than the mystery of the bowler. It was the shot selection that got some of the Indian batters out. So I don't think it is too much of an issue. I think looking to play across the line, if you miss, you're going to be bowled or LBW. That's what happened. Every time you look to hit more straighter, then you're more likely to get some bat on it. And I don't think the Indians are going to be too concerned about having given 4 wickets to Brazils.